Pat's personal portraits. It's either somebody that you have met before and you may know very well, or someone that is brand new to you, but you can depend on me to have brought them into the studio at KTAR.com, because they're going to be fascinating people. I think you may recognize this gentleman, particularly if you spent your life bearing down at the University of Arizona. How long were you the president there?
Well said. A little over 5 years.
Fun? Good times?
Great times. Fabulous people.
Have you grown to also love Arizona State University, sir?
Well, you know, I was born in the Phoenix area, and so I grew up following the Sun Devils. So I try to be very even-handed about it, but confessions, true confessions, my heart remains with the Wildcats.
Yes, and the Wildcat folks are extremely indebted to you, I'm sure,
Well,
for that. However, now you're kind of representing the whole world of college football, specifically as it narrows down to the two that we wind up with in the Fiesta Bowl, as executive director of the Fiesta Bowl.
Yes.
How is it going to be different this year than it was in the troubled times of last year?
Well, first of all, I think we got past those troubled times and we put on two fantastic games. Those two games were two of, I think, only 4 bowl games that showed a significant increase in viewership, up over 30%. We had the best game of the year with Oklahoma State and Stanford, number 3 versus 4. And in the coming year, we also get the number 1 pick after the BCS championship game is filled. So we're looking forward to a great Fiesta Bowl. You know, we also put on the bowl that used to be called the Insight Bowl, and we're about ready to sign a new sponsor for that. That's held at ASU Stadium in Tempe, and we're very proud of that. Last year we had Oklahoma and Iowa, and where else could you go for $25 and see Oklahoma and Iowa play? So we're past the glitch, let me call it that occurred, and looking forward, we're continuing to put on great games, great events.
But when you're talking about millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars applicable to the profits of all of the major bowls put together, can anybody really be assured that the greedy folks aren't going to take over? Not necessarily the Fiesta Bowl, because maybe we've learned our lesson.
Mm-hmm. Well, what we're going to have after another 2 years, the current BCS cycle comes to closure, and there will be a new configuration. Not sure what it will be. The front runner is a 4-team playoff. We feel confident that the Fiesta Bowl will play a major role in whatever the final configuration is, because we have a terrific destination. People love to come to the great Phoenix area in the end of December, early January. We've got hospitality like no one else. We've got 3,000 volunteers over the year, probably 1,200, 1,500 at any given time that are interacting. And we've got a magnificent facility out there in Glendale and a real neutral site out there in Glendale.
But Pasadena and Miami and New Orleans, so many of those cities are somewhere sitting with a representative in a studio like this saying exactly the same thing.
And I would never in any way demean or denigrate those great destinations. But if you look at the facility, we've got the newest facility. It's a pro stadium. People love to play in that pro stadium. And we've got the weather and the climate and the resorts that people want to come to. So
yeah, but where are the teams going to come from? Because if you're talking about the next couple of years, and there's still going to be BCS,
correct.
I believe that the agreement with those associations, those football schools and sports associations, is coming to an end.
Yes, in the next 2 years, we will continue to host the champion of the Big 12 Conference. Okay, last year we had Oklahoma State. And then we will get the number 1 at-large pick to match up against Oklahoma State. Last year we took number 4 ranked Stanford. So that'll be the case for next year, and then the following year it'll be similar. Then after that, it's the new configuration. And the question of where will the teams come from? Very good question, Pat. Nobody really knows at this point in time.
And nobody's going to be happy, Robert. Now, you know that.
You are exactly right.
At the end of the day, everybody who has been screaming and jumping up and down, including me, saying for years, why can we have a playoff in every sport on every level of college athletics and not Division I football? And they say, oh, we've got a playoff, but I don't like it.
Yeah, well, we're going to have it looks like a 4-team playoff. Maybe they'll go to a +1, don't know. But you're absolutely right. Whatever it is, people will continue to be discontent. I guarantee it.
Unless, of course, you pick Notre Dame.
Well, it would be lovely to have Notre Dame out here. They do bring a crowd, and they do put on a great football team.
Well, I think that it's important, however, to recognize the fact that you can hardly go wrong inviting the place where God went to school. Dr. Robert
Touchdown
Shelton,
Jesus.
the executive, that's right, the executive director of the Fiesta Bowl now. And yes, Sun Devil fans, he has enormous respect for all that has gone on in Tempe, maybe a little more if it went on first in Tucson. This, Pat's Personal Profiles on KTAR.com.